What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Game Show presented by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my co-host, Josh. How's it going, guys?
What up?
Let's go. The Ravens lost last night, but I'm trying to forget about it. Let's go.
The Ravens lost last night.
At least it was a fun game. Josh, I just sat there thinking, I feel for Josh right now because this is exactly how I felt after the Browns-Ravens Monday Night Football loss, where we just watched an unbelievable game of football, and then you had to walk away feeling like a loser, even after this unreal game that we just watched. So I'm sorry you have to process that today. Guys, today we are joined by a very special guest. He is a great friend of the show, and I do not say that lightly. Best friend of the show, even more so now that he's got the orange Clemson shirt on. He's the host of the Sully's 2 Cents podcast and a senior writer for RotoHeat.com. And tonight and every Tuesday night, you can catch him live for Dynasty Heat Seekers. What is up, my man, Sully?
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me back. This is, I tweeted a lot, my favorite hour of every day, and I try to be in here as much as I can. So to be asked back again is truly an honor. You guys have something special going, and very happy to be here. So thank you.
We love having you. You're welcome on anytime, so you say the word.
Here tomorrow.
Just shoot us a message.
All right,
we'll send you a link.
Yeah, you're like in that upper echelon with Scott Fish, where you guys can just pretty much crash the show whenever you want.
Just come in the comments, be like, "Hey, why didn't I get my invite yet?" And
what the hell? I'm not doing anything.
I appreciate that, but I'm not sure I belong in that tier. Thank you.
Well, we put you there. You can't take it back.
Yeah.
We got Craig in the chat, said, with Sully on the show today, it is only fitting we had a moment of silence for fellow Canadian we lost today. R.I.P. Norm MacDonald. I did not know that until Craig just put that in the chat. So
Craig broke that news for me as well, and that's pretty sad.
That is very sad. So moment of silence for our fellow Canadian. Jay saying R.I.P. Norm. So freaking funny. Absolutely. Definitely a legend. R.I.P. Norm. And Rick Butts in here coming in saying, I often give Sully a hard time, but he was one of the first that believed in me when I started Roto Heat, and his loyalty is unwavering. Few work harder. 700 articles, 150 podcasts. He is a legend.
Wow.
Absolutely. 700 articals? Like, what are you doing? You're slacking, Sully. Like, get those numbers up.
The 150 podcasts are part of that 700. But at the end of the day, you're only good if someone gives you an opportunity to have a chance. And that's what Rick did for me. So it's just my way of repaying him. So I'll just keep doing what I'm doing until somebody tells me to stop.
Yeah, if you're not already subscribed to the Roto Heat channel, go do that. Go on their site. Make sure you make an account. Go check out their content. It's fantastic. We're good friends of the show. Josh and I are usually in the comments, and they're messing around on any live shows.
I love the Tuesday night show. I love your guys' Tuesday night show. It's such a good one.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's fun and it's relaxed and it's just banter, right? And it's something we really enjoy. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
And J-Wall coming in, hyping up our guest even more, saying the best guest ever today on the show. Let's get it. And Scott, he said, if they don't pivot to Norm MacDonald movies for the second bracket on the fly, I'm smashing the unsubscribe so hard it'll break and no one can use it anymore. Scott, well, one, that would be pretty cool if you broke the button and no one could ever unsubscribe again. So that's fine.
Yeah, I kind of like Steve, you could do it.
Number two, we don't want to rush into a Norm MacDonald movies bracket and then do it sloppily. We got to do it right. So we will not be pivoting today. But
great job, Simon.
That's my host.
Great job.
Nailed it.
Great freaking job. Yes.
What's up, Brad? Welcome, man. He says, woo, woo, woo. At least that's how I read it.
That's the real brains behind the Tuesday night show, by the way.
Woo, woo, woo. That's the brains right there. Who needs words when you can just woo? And Swamp said, who that gonna beat them Saints? Yeah, that was an impressive
Not
game.
The Packers. Not the Packers.
Swampy. Your Saints, man, they killed it.
And Anthony in here. Sully, my man. Look at that. You are a man of the people, Sully.
You are loved,
hyped
Sully.
to have you on here. Z2, Jay. And then Tim, he's not here to watch you, though. He's here to watch Josh slowly fall apart at the seams with the past weeks of Ravens actions.
Every week, every time we get something new about the Ravens, Josh just slowly dies.
Also, Swamp saying, I regret playing Pittman over Marvin Jones, but I still won my week one. I tried to tell you, Swamp, but he listened on the other advice, said Devonta Smith helped me, plus his QB is Jalen Hurts. So definitely had a good week over there. And Brad said, pour out a Tim Hortons for a legend. Absolutely. A beer. What's the Canadian beer? Starts with an M.
Molson Canadian?
Yep, that's what I was thinking of. But he probably deserves a nicer beer than that.
Yeah,
Z2 wants to know, how do we apply for the upper echelon? Well, step one, Throw on a Clemson shirt. That helps. Z2.
It's invite only.
Hey, my mother didn't raise an idiot. Let's put it that way.
Anthony in here with a trade wants to know how you guys feel about it. Said, I traded away Bryan Edwards and received Julio Jones and Mostert, and now I feel foolish. Save me. A week ago, I would have felt really, really positively about that trade.
A week ago.
And try not to overreact to Julio's bad game. Mostert out, but don't overreact to Bryan Edwards' big fourth quarter or Julio Jones' bad game. This likely will still work out in your favor, at least for this season, if you're a contender. Do you guys?
Yeah,
I project Julio Jones to have more fantasy points this season, even after week 1. Do any of you guys think Bryan Edwards outscores Julio Jones this year?
No, and I think your process is right there, Anthony. Like I'm assuming you made this trade because you're contending. You wanted, it's not like you didn't know Julio Jones and Mostert were older when you made this trade, hopefully. So I think that it was a fine trade. It's just unlucky. You got unlucky with Mostert, getting hurt.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Vopsy has a question for us. Says, do I claim Elijah Mitchell for Tony Pollard? I have Zeke, which is why I have Tony. So drop Tony Pollard for Elijah Mitchell. What do you guys think on that one?
I would.
I wouldn't.
I don't think I would either.
Would look deep in my roster to find someone else to try to drop for Mitchell. But I think Pollard's, man, if something happens to Zeke, look out.
Well, let's just assume this is the last person on his roster, the only person he can cut. If you need running back help, yeah, I'm doing it. I'm definitely doing it. I'm doing it.
Yeah, this early in the season, I'm not as worried about getting the backup for my running backs here. Tony Pollard's going to have a limited ceiling with Zeke there. And so you're just hoping for an injury at that point. Elijah Mitchell could very well be a very, very relevant piece in this offense and make a massive impact on your fantasy team. So I'm with Josh.
Yeah, and I'm with Sully. I think Tony Pollard has weekly value anyways. And the ceiling is so much higher than Elijah Mitchell's if Zeke goes down. So I'll hold on to Pollard in this situation. I'm a little bit more confident in what he's going to do week to week, and then his ceiling is higher. Sully, what about you? What do you think? I know you said you would keep Pollard.
Yeah, I just I don't want to overreact to week 1. And in a Kyle Shanahan backfield, there's going to be multiple pieces. I think Trey Sermon still is going to be relevant this season. I think he maybe splits 40% of the workload between those two. And Hasty seems to be his goal line back. So if you take away the rushing touchdowns and Mitchell is a 50-50 between the 20s running back, I think he does have value for you in a flex spot in a deeper league, but I don't know if he's necessarily someone that I would give up on Tony Pollard, because if Zeke goes down, it's to the moon for Pollard. There's nothing in his way there. So that's why I'd be a little hesitant and try to find something else on my roster.
Mitchell getting 50% of the work for the 49ers makes him a pretty much an every week, at least flex for me.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah. I don't disagree with the points you guys are making. Just the final end goal for me would involve Pollard on the roster. So no shame in the other side. I 100% get
Screw Pollard
for
get
Elijah
Mitchell.
One more question, guys. Swamp says, so I'm in my Smash League. I have James Robinson and Mike Davis. Should I panic?
James Robinson.
Those are your only two running backs? If they're your only two running backs, then I'm a little bit nervous. James Robinson is going to have better weeks going forward. Believe me, they're going to be down a lot, and he's their pass catching running back. He's going to get plenty of catches to support being a running back 2 at least. I really do think so. Top 24 running back. Mike Davis, on the other hand, I'm concerned about, but he'll be usable as long as he's healthy.
Yep. I tend to agree with Josh there. Anybody else have a different take on this?
I'm worried about both. I think that Urban Meyer is nuts. And for him to use Robinson like he did in week 1 is mind-boggling to me. And Atlanta looks really, really bad. And my biggest concern for that offense is Matt Ryan going to take a huge step backwards? And it sure looked like it in week 1. So hopefully I'm wrong there. I think Mike Davis will be okay. Robinson, if he can get some work, will be just fine. But I'm really worried that he's going to get enough work to be relevant, because he needed a ton of work last year to get to where he was. So
I'm with you, Sully. I'm worried about both. I wouldn't panic, but I would be trying to build up some backups there. Some other alternative plan if either of those two guys don't really pan out, or both.
Yep. Guys, we've got 2 brackets to get through today, so I want to make sure we get into those. Before we do that, 2 things real quick, though. 1, hit that like and subscribe button right now if you're watching this video. It means a ton to us. If you're enjoying it, it's a quick way to show us, and you can make sure you never miss another one of these episodes again. And a quick reminder that after this, at 4:15 Eastern time, we will be going live for fantasy office hours. So if you have more questions, waiver wire questions, you're panicking after week 1, some potential trades you want to be making, stop by and pitch those questions to us, and we'll be glad to answer any and everything you can throw our way. With that being said, Josh, I know you have some quick news and notes for us before we run into the bracket.
Some real quick stuff for you guys. Just wanted to go over the news that broke, in the last 24 hours. Saquon Barkley here. He is limited in practice today, so just keep an eye out for it. We're not going to worry yet. He's still a starter. If he's starting for the Giants, he's going to be in your fantasy lineup. But let's just see how that goes. Gibson, on the other hand, was a full participant in practice. So good news for Antonio Gibson. Again, same deal. If he's starting, you're putting him in your lineup. Rashad Penny, he is going to be out for week 2. He wasn't really too much of a factor anyway, but I don't think anyone's that surprised here. So we'll just move on. KJ Hamler for the Broncos. He is getting first team reps with Jerry Jeudy out. This is significant. If you're in a deeper league, maybe you need a wide receiver to take a flyer on. KJ Amerler. He's
Tim Patrick,
a solid
too.
Receiver. I'd rather have Tim Patrick, but I think KJ Hamler is just a little more surprising that he's actually getting in there. But Tim Patrick is the pickup if there's a guy to pick up on the Broncos right now with Jerry Jeudy out. Ronald Jones will start for the Bucs in week 2. Apparently he's out of the doghouse. I'm starting Leonard Fournette over Ronald Jones still going into week 2. I'd actually rather stay away from both of them, but I think we're going to be in this constant cycle of not knowing who to start here. Raheem Mostert out for the season. Just broke right before the show. Solly actually mentioned it to me. I was like, oh, got to put that in his notes. And again, right before the show, Fitzmagic, he was put on IR. So sad news there. Guys. But that's everything we have. Last 24 hours. Let's get into the brackets.
Let's get into the brackets. Our first bracket, we've already talked about a little bit with one of the players so far, but we are going to be doing a week 2 waiver wire bracket. So I'll go ahead and get that pulled up for us. Oops, that's the chips one. So now we've got this. I am on a new computer, and unfortunately, I don't know how to get rid of the top bar on this computer. So you guys are going to have to bear with me with the URL bar today on the top. The shortcut that I use on the old computer isn't working. But our very first matchup, Sully, I'm going to go ahead and move you up to the top so you get to go first. This is week 2 waiver wire ads. So your favorite waiver wire ads for week 2. We've got 8 head-to-head matchups, 8 different players we're going to be talking about. And the very first matchup is a player we've already mentioned, Elijah Mitchell, going up against the 8 seed, the receiving back for the Patriots, James White. Sully, which one of these is your preferred week 2 waiver wire ad?
It's easily Elijah Mitchell. I think that James White is a nice option for you if you're looking for a cheaper acquisition, if you play in a free agent acquisition budget league, but just straight up against these two, it's Elijah Mitchell. The opportunity is just too great to pass.
Elijah Mitchell. And while we're going through this, Ben wants to know how much would you drop of your fab on Elijah Mitchell? So Sully, since you voted Elijah Mitchell, how much would you be willing to drop on him?
It's really league dependent and roster dependent, but I'd say about 15% I'd be comfortable with in week 1.
15%. And Jordan in here saying he put $69 of fab out of 100 because he needs the RB2 and his team is complete. So definitely team dependent over there. John Luke, are you going Elijah Mitchell or James White?
No, it's easily Elijah Mitchell as well. I think Sully pretty much hit the nail on the head. Elijah Mitchell's upside is huge. James White, while he is going to be flex-worthy like he has been for the last 5 years, it's not quite the same upside at all. In terms of fab, I would be putting 40 to 50% down, and I'm willing to move that depending on your team needs. Like who came in here, Jordan said. In our experts league, we were talking about today. We had Cam Akers and he went down. It's a 14-team experts league with like Fantasy Pros, Yahoo Fantasy, a bunch of sharp folks, and we're talking about putting down considerable amount of the fab. Well, maybe 80 to 90%. So take that for what it's worth.
Elijah Mitchell and Jail, a little bit more confidence on throwing some money at him on fab. And Anthony, thank you for the helpful tip. I'll be sure to try this momentarily. I'm sure nothing will go wrong if I press F4 to remove
Shuts
the bar
down his whole stream.
Yeah, I appreciate the help over there. Josh, where are you going? Elijah Mitchell or James White?
The answer is Elijah Mitchell here. If everything pans out right for him, he's a top 24 running back. James White, I don't think has near that upside, but I got to mention James White, 6 receptions, 7 targets, 4 carries. He's going to be involved in this offense, and he's going to be a guy that you can plug and play week in and week out. Elijah Mitchell for the upside.
Yep, and you guys said it. It's Elijah Mitchell as well. I want to remind everyone watching, since there are 4 of us, there's a chance we end in a tie, and we need your help to decide. So please be voting along with us as we're going through these. Throw your votes in the chat. Let us know what you're thinking. Vopsy wants to know, should I drop Marvin Jones for Elijah Mitchell instead?
1,000% yes.
If I had to drop Pollard or Marvin Jones, I'm probably dropping Marvin Jones. Just I think he's more replaceable, but I would prefer not to drop Marvin Jones either.
Like, the thing is, like, yeah, Marvin Jones is going to score more points over the season if nothing happens to Zeke. Like, Marvin Jones is going to – there's no doubt in my mind about that. But if something happens to Zeke, the upside is just enormous, and he's going to just be a league winner. So, yeah, I guess I'd rather draft Marvin Jones, especially if you have solid receivers and you don't have to worry about that. If these are like 5th or 6th guy, sure.
Yeah, it's a roster construction and a league format thing. If it's a 3 wide receiver league with a couple of flexes, maybe I want to hold on to Marvin Jones, but in a vacuum, straight up, I'm going to let Marvin Jones go and retain Tony Pollard. The replacement value at running back is too great to not take that chance.
Yep. We have another trade question here. Kyle Ellis wants to know, trade Mixon and Tyson for Zeke, 8-man PPR. We start 3 wide receivers, 3 RBs.
I don't think I'm doing
John
this.
Luke, yeah, we'll come to you first. What do you think?
I don't think I'm going to make this move. I mean, on paper, it's an upgrade to Zeke, but I don't know how much. On paper, yeah, sure. Like, their ADPs coming into the season for sure.
ADP, yeah.
That's what I mean on paper for what we know. After week 1, of course, that doesn't look like the case. But I also just don't expect there to be a massive discrepancy between Zeke and Joe Mixon at the end of the season. And so I'd rather probably just keep Tyson, and especially in a 3, you're starting 3 running backs. So running back depth is gonna be important in this league.
We got some additional information down here. He does have Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, and Chris Carson as well.
I think I would still stick with Mixon and Tyson.
Yeah, I'm staying on that side as well. Josh, are you taking the Zeke side, or are you staying on the Mixon and Tyson side?
It's an 8-man league, so like getting a better player is definitely the move, and it's really what your perception of Zeke is. He did have a bad game against a really good defense. Zeke and Mixon are close in my book too. I'm such a big Mixon fan. I don't know if I'm making this move. And now, if it was like for Dalvin Cook, yeah, I'm in. I think Tyson Williams is going to be the most valuable running back for the Ravens for the rest of the season.
He looked good last night.
He did look pretty good. Okay. He said, I'm not starting Tyson. I don't think I ever will. That was what Josh was saying down there. But I think I'm still keeping that side. Sully, are you keeping that side as well, or are you taking the Zeke side?
It's tough.
So close.
I think I'm probably going to stay on the Mixon side. Tyson did look good last night. The Ravens win that game if they stuck with him, by the way, and I don't know what they were doing later on in that football game, but he missed a massive block in overtime, and that might hurt him going forward. So I know you say you're not going to start him. I expect Zeke to be a lot better, but I like Mixon as well. So I don't think you go wrong there, really, but and if to JL's point, when you're starting 3 running backs, keep the depth.
Yep, completely agree there. And Rick Butt saying F11 is the real way to do it. I was trying to do FN plus F11, and it wasn't working. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate it. We are on to our next matchup. John Luke, this is Terrace Marshall versus Sterling Shepard. Which one of these guys do you like better as a waiver wire ad this week? One really performed well this week. One was a little underwhelming, but that may not be the way your vote goes.
I hate this matchup. I really do, because you guys know I love Terrace Marshall. I think he's going to actually have a very good
Shepard.
season. And I also like Sterling Shepard a lot. I feel like he's been what's the right word? Disrespected all offseason, just forgotten. Looked talented all last year when he played. And so I have him luckily on some dynasty leagues that I'm pretty happy about. I think he's going to be flex worthy start throughout the season. Terrace Marshall probably has way more upside, but he's not as safe. And so I would probably go Marshall for the upside, unless you really need wide receiver. You need wide receiver help. If your wide receivers are hurting, in which case I might go Sterling Shepard. I'm trying to get both of these guys if I'm in a league.
So are you going with Terrace Marshall though?
I'm going to go Terrace Marshall. Yeah.
One vote for Terrace Marshall. And I don't know where this Sterling Shepard love was before. I feel like in all of our drafts we did together, I tried to get us to take Sterling Shepard and I got nothing but ooze in the late rounds. Josh, where are you going? Marshall or Shepard?
No, I think JL summed it up perfectly, actually. If I need a wide receiver start right now, Sterling Shepard's the guy I'd rather throw in my lineup. So he's the person I'd rather go after if I need a wide receiver start right now. However, Terrace Marshall has so much more upside. I'm actually picking Terrace Marshall in this as well, just because I want to see another week with this high draft capital rookie and see what he can do in this offense.
They looked good. The offense looked very good.
Yeah,
but if I had to make a bet on who's going to score more points, it's Sterling Shepard. But I'm still nervous about Sterling Shepard in that offense.
I'm going Sterling Shepard. I am a little bit worried, but what I saw week one shows that he's going to be involved in this offense. And I don't think any of the other receivers are going to take away a ton of his work, even as they're coming back, the other receiving options. Evan Ingram is honestly probably the most concerning one to come back, more so than Kenny G in my eyes for the kind of work Shepard was receiving. But even then, I think he's got a solid role. I'm going Sterling Shepard. Sully, where are you voting on this one? Shepard or Terrace Marshall?
We're going to end up needing to go to the chat because this is going to be a tie. So I'm adding Sterling Shepard. I think when you see a quarterback struggle, they tend to focus in on what they know, and that's Sterling Shepard in that offense. Kadarius Toney's not an option. Kenny Golladay is working his way back. His tight end is missing. His running back is being used in 42% of snaps. So I think he's got to lean on Sterling Shepard early. And then they're also playing Washington this upcoming week, and I'm just working on a Thursday start sit article. That ball's got to come out in a hurry against that front four. So that's Sterling Shepard as well. So I do like Terrace Marshall a lot. They played the Jets in week one, so I think that's a factor. And I'm not so sure that Sam Darnold can support that entire offense. So long-term this season, I think Terrace Marshall will be the guy you want to look to add later in the season. But right now it's Sterling Shepard for me.
It is 2-2, so we need to go to our chat, and it's looking like it's overwhelming. But Anthony came in with Shepard, so that's one vote for Shepard. Rick said Shepard. Fantasy Futurist also said Sterling Shepard. Craig saying Shepard, and Jay Wall said Shepard for sure.
Everyone's saying Shepard. JL, let's go.
5-0.
Just a bunch of sheep.
Just a bunch of sheep, but only for us. We are the Shepherds, Sully, me and you. They don't listen to JL and Josh, apparently. Our next matchup is Ingram versus Latavius Murray. And Josh, you've got the first vote here. Which one of these guys are you preferring to add, Mark Ingram or Latavius Murray?
So Mark Ingram, he got 26 carries this week. Let's go, Scott Fish. That's what I'm talking about.
Marshall won. 10 votes for Marshall. Looks
Marshall
like,
won.
Damn.
It was close there for a minute.
I know.
This is kind of a close one for me, but I do not expect the Texans to have the kind of game script that they had week in and week out. I do think that David Johnson is going to be the main pass catching back on this team. Latavius Murray looks like he's going to be heavily involved with the Ravens, even though I do think Tyson Williams looked a lot more electric and just like the better running back, in my opinion. Latavius Murray seems to be playing that. I said this last night multiple times while I was watching the Gus Edwards role where you just hand it off to him and he goes forward. And then Tyson Williams is more of that, scat, he can kind of get around the edge a little bit more. And he's probably going to catch some passes, but it's Latavius Murray for me.
Yeah, I'm not wildly interested in either of these players based on week one. I guess it's Latavius Murray for the reasons Josh said, but I'm not spending more than like $1 or $2 a fab for either of these guys on the waiver wire. Sully, where are you going? Mark Ingram or Latavius Murray?
I don't want either as well, but I think Latavius Murray is probably going to have the biggest role. I am worried about the Ravens run game, though. They lost an offensive lineman last night. They don't look like the team that they have been in previous years. Latavius Murray is not Gus Edwards or J.K. Dobbins, and neither is Tyson. But Mark Ingram, I don't know. I think all Texans running backs scored this in week one as well, just to confuse things even further. So, and I don't like his number change. I don't know who anybody is on the field. I'm really upset about these number changes. So just for that, Latavius Murray kept his number. I'm going with him.
The Ravens
3 votes for Latavius Murray. Man, yesterday that kept throwing me off. The 23 on Kenyon Drake from a weird angle looked like 83 for Darren Waller. So I would get excited that it was thrown to 23, and then it was, no, I wanted that to be Darren Waller.
He only had 19
You
targets.
were upset that Darren Waller didn't get enough targets.
I wanted more targets. More targets.
He's on pace
19
for
targets.
323 targets this year, and you're a little disappointed. I love it.
He's like
I
in the
just want
top
more.
5.
I'm so happy.
Of any tight end of all time.
He had one
That's
catch
ridiculous.
for 8 targets at one point.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
They are Derek Carr targets, so I think you have to multiply by like 0.6 to get the actual value.
That's fair.
So a couple more would have been good. John Luke, are you going Mark Ingram or Latavius Murray?
Yeah, we talked about Mark Ingram a bit on our FanDuel Sunday recap, week 1 Sunday recap. It was surprising to see how much work he got, how many opportunities Mark Ingram got. I'm not excited for the upside there. I don't think they're going to have a game like this very often. And so I'm going to go Latavius Murray as well.
Another vote for Latavius Murray, 4-0. We've had 2 sweeps.
Easy.
2 sweeps, and then Shepard sneaking by in his win over there. And we are on to our last first-round matchup, Jalen Reagor versus Christian.
This one's really tough, actually.
Yeah, and I guess I have the first vote, so I have to go first. And man, these guys were close preseason for me, depending if you bought into Jalen Reagor or not. And just based on what we saw week 1, I am more comfortable with Kirk's role in that Cardinals offense. And I just want pieces of that Cardinals offense. It looks really exciting. And Kirk looks like he's going to be the number 2 receiver over there, over AJ Green. So I'm going to take Christian Kirk in this matchup, but this is a close one. Sully, where are you going, Kirk or Reagor?
The opposite of the last one. I want both these guys, and I didn't want either one of the last 2. I'm going to go with Christian Kirk, and I risk getting fired from RotoHeat because we're a big Jalen Reagor crew. I just think that, to your point, I want every piece of this offense. Kyler looked like he's taken yet another step. They're going to throttle my Vikings this week. So Christian Kirk's the man. I'm taking him here, although I really would like Jalen Reagor as well.
2 votes for Kirk, but a nod to Reagor. And John Luke, I know Sully talking about Kyler taking that step speaks to you. You were talking quite a bit about it this weekend watching Kyler play. Are you taking Christian Kirk or Jalen Reagor in this one?
Yeah, that team looked absolutely electric. The defense was on fire. I honestly, I like both of these guys. This game, I think, definitely makes it seem like, or can give the wrong idea that we like one guy and don't like the other guy. But I would be trying to get both these guys. I love Reagor's talent. I think he's also in a very potentially high, explosive offense, high-powered offense. But Christian Kirk definitely gets the edge.
3 votes for Kirk. Oops, I did the minus over there. Before we get to your vote, Josh, Scott's in here saying the Ravens, after this week's Chiefs game, are going to rank very poorly against tight ends for a long time, starting against Waller and Kelsey. Absolutely. That might be misleading. So be aware of that whenever you're looking at rankings against the position. And we got Spicy McNutt in here. Yo. This feels good to be 1-0 this fine Tuesday. Congratulations on the win. Absolutely. And Rick Butts agreeing with you up there, Sully, saying when they are close, go with QB. Murray greater than Hurts, Kirk greater than Reagor. So it looks like you are not getting fired.
That's good news. And just for fun, week 3, the Ravens get TJ Hawkinson. So keep the tight end bringing it coming.
Wow.
That's a brutal tight end schedule to start the year. Josh, are you going with Reagor or Kirk?
I'm going to throw a nod to Reagor. I think it is super close, just like everyone's saying here, but Reagor has less competition for targets in my mind. While I do think Rondale Moore is going to be much more involved in the offense going forward, where Christian Kirk and Rondale Moore play kind of a similar role. So I don't know. I kind of actually do like Reagor there.
1 vote for Reagor. Even if it was a nod, there's 1 vote for Reagor. But yeah, I think we're all in consensus. We want both those guys. That's a tough matchup for Jalen Reagor in the first round. I would have loved to see him against like a Mark Ingram or Latavius Murray instead, and he likely would have moved on. Tim has a question for us real quick. Kirk versus Hardman. Which one of these guys are you adding this week? Christian Kirk or Hardman?
Easy.
It's Kirk for me.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yep, I think we're all in agreement. It's Kirk. We are on to our first second round matchup. And Sully, we're going to start with you again. You get to start all the Elijah Mitchell ones so far. Elijah Mitchell versus Sterling Shepard. Which one of these waiver wire ads are you more excited about?
I don't trust the Giants offense long-term, and I do like Sterling Shepard early in the season, but Elijah Mitchell, with Mostert going down for the season, looks like he's got the opportunity to have a season-long role in a Kyle Shanahan backfield, so that one's pretty easy for me.
1 vote, Elijah Mitchell. John Luke, are you agreeing with Sully, or are you going Sterling Shepard?
I fully agree with Sully here. Elijah Mitchell.
2 votes for Elijah Mitchell. And Josh?
It's Elijah Mitchell. I didn't even vote for Sterling Shepard in the first poll. I don't think. Who was he against? I can't.
Terrace
see it
Marshall.
Terrace
Wow,
Marshall. Oh,
Josh
yeah.
hates Sterling Shepard.
I don't hate Sterling Shepard.
Apparently
I just
you
know
do.
I know what he is in this offense, and with more weapons, with Kadarius Toney, who's going to get more involved, and Kenny Golladay, who's going to get more involved, and Evan Ingram, who's going to get more involved. I don't know.
Yeah, I like Sterling Shepard, but it's Elijah Mitchell here. He's starting running backs for an NFL team don't come up on the waiver wire very often. So even though we don't know for sure that he's going to be the lead guy all season, you got to take that shot. Sterling Shepard, while I'm excited for him, there's comparable guys on the waiver wire that you can add as well. I'm going Elijah Mitchell. Up next, we've got Latavius Murray versus Christian Kirk. John Luke. You got your contemplation face on, or maybe your pouting face. I can't tell. Or your pooping face. They all look very similar.
They're all the same.
Which way are you going on this one?
This one, I'm going to lean Christian Kirk. Latavius Murray is interesting. It'll be interesting to see if they start working Devonta Freeman into that rotation. Same argument from before. I'm really excited for this Arizona offense. I'm going to try and pick up Kirk in every league I'm in if I don't already have him.
One vote for Kirk. And Josh, which way are you going here?
I'm going the opposite way. I'm going Latavius Murray, actually, just because of the fact that it's a running back. And Kirk, I don't really expect to produce what he did consistently this week. He's going to have good games going forward, but Latavius Murray, just because running back's a little bit more valuable in that regard.
We got some breaking news here. San Francisco is going to sign Kerryon Johnson. Does this mean anything to you, Sully?
I really love Kerryon Johnson, but no, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, he was one of my favorite players whenever he came out. I was so excited, but I'm done loving him. I'm sorry, Kerryon. I just gotta move along. I can't do it anymore. You've broken my heart too many times.
Carry on, my wayward son.
Carry on, my wayward son. This one is really tough for me because I like Christian Kirk so much better than Latavius Murray. But like Josh said, this is a running back. And like I said about Elijah Mitchell, you don't get the opportunity to potentially get a starting running back. I don't think it is Murray. I think it's Tyson Williams. It just depends how much I like Christian Kirk, man. This one is really tough cross-positionally. I think I like Christian Kirk enough to overcome the value at running back, like the value disparity that a running back has off the waiver wire. So I'm going to go Christian Kirk here, but it is super close. Sully, where are you going? Is this one going to the chat or are you voting Christian Kirk?
This one's really hard for me. You know, Christian Kirk, I talked about this with Brad on the weekend, is he looks great, and then he kind of goes into the witness protection program for like about a month, like he disappears. I'm really wondering if the elevation in that offense and him being the true number 2 target in that offense changes that. I'm a little concerned about the Ravens' run game and their offensive line. So it's really, really close. Typically, when it's this close, I would lean to the running back, but I am going to go with Christian Kirk here.
I think we got to keep in mind, guys, Murray was only with the team for like 5 days.
Yeah, that is true as well. That's 100%
I don't disagree.
Well.
I don't disagree with that, but he was given the ball and told to run forward, which he's been doing his whole life.
Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what he's told to do.
Yeah.
Yep. We got Troy King in the chat. What's up? Welcome in, my man. Glad to have you here.
What up, Troy?
And some votes. Anthony said Murray. Rick said Kirk. And Bonnie said Kirk understands his role with the Cardinals. Murray looked like he was scrambling too much in the backfield against the Raiders, in his opinion. So I'm guessing that's a vote for Kirk as well. But we have our championship, and it is scratch. It is the 1 seed Elijah Mitchell versus the 2 seed Christian Kirk. Sully, you had the last vote on that one, I believe. And so, Josh, I think you have the first vote here. Is it Elijah Mitchell or is it Christian Kirk?
It's an easy one. It's Elijah Mitchell. I kind of figured he was going to win this going into it. He's a running back with the starting role that just went off in week 1 in the Kyle Shanahan offense. And as you can tell, I'm not that into Christian Kirk either. So it's Elijah Mitchell for me.
And Scott coming in saying it's better than giving Latavius Murray the ball and telling him to run backwards.
Very true. Very true.
That is factually correct.
Absolutely true.
At least we think so. We don't know for sure. We've never seen this this football strategy put into action. So someone call the Ravens, see if they can try it next week. Maybe Latavius will be a little bit more efficient if he starts running the wrong way. Our next matchup, we've got our next vote. That is me, and I'm going to also vote for Elijah Mitchell. All the reasons previously stated. Latavius almost beat Kirk for me, and I'm not excited about him at all. So Elijah Mitchell definitely beats him. Sully, where are you going, Mitchell or Kirk?
Mitchell by a fair margin.
And John Luke?
I'm going Mitchell as well.
One more vote for Mitchell, and Mitchell wins our bracket. Mitchell is the undisputed. Yeah, I don't know why it didn't move him on. Submit scores. It won't even show the champion there, but Elijah Mitchell wins our bracket today. What's up, Marty? Welcome in.
Marty!
You're just in time for the very important
Marty.
chips bracket we are about to do.
Very important.
Very important.
Lots of pressure.
What's up, Spicy McNutt, aka Sam? Yeah. Hey, what's up, Sam?
1 second, guys.
Gonna keep calling you Spicy McNutt. It's just
I hope
that's
I
a great
it's
remember.
ingrained
handle.
at this point.
Exactly.
That's a great
I
handle.
never remember it.
You've been around long enough.
Okay. We are ready. I apologize for that. 1 second, and we will be good to go.
You're all good, man.
By the way,
You
great
look good.
questions
That's what
today.
matters.
If you have any more, come by right after this stream. We're going to be doing fantasy football office hours. So we're just Q&A for like 45 minutes or so. So bring your questions, week 2 waiver questions, drops, whatever you need. Start sits, everyday life questions, anything.
Whatever you need.
It's your time. It's your time.
Okay,
You are
guys.
great.
We have a great chips bracket here right now. Jay put this together. We only have 8 options on here, so some chips definitely got cut, but we wanted to make sure we had time to discuss these right. Sully, we're going to start with you again. We're going to always start with the guests. So Doritos versus Pringles is our first round matchup. The 1 seed Doritos versus the 8 seed Pringles. Where's your vote going on this one?
It's going with Pringles, and the main reason is Pringles are versatile. They're easier to eat, and Doritos, depending on what flavor, actually doesn't depend on what flavor. For the most part, are hot trash that just leave my hands dirty. So Pringles for me.
Oh my goodness. The hot take against Doritos. 1 vote for Pringles. John Luke, are you going Doritos or Pringles here?
Man, you talk about Doritos leaving your hands dirty. Well, Pringles leaves your hands cramped because you're stuck trying to stuff your fat hand into the freaking tube. It's Doritos. Pringles are basically just
Pour it out, brother.
discount potato chips. It's like baked potato chips. That's what Pringles remind me of.
We've got some impassioned takes so far. Josh, which side of this debate are you falling on, Doritos or Pringles?
Pringles are pretty tasty. But they put it in that tube to fool you, Sully. They're like, look. I mean, look, it's so exciting. You get to experience chips in a whole new way. No, you get less chips. All right, this is messed up. It's Doritos. Doritos is the answer.
You realize that there's a weight per serving on both portions, regardless of how they're delivered to you, though, right?
Fantasy Future saying JL just told a personal Pringles story on himself. He's
Yeah,
help
that was
me.
personal. It's stuck again.
Doritos are
got a
Stuck
hand.
again.
He's got a
We've
hand.
never seen his left hand, hey? We've never seen his left hand. It's still stuck in a
comes
Pringles.
downstairs
Still didn't
and
see
both
it.
both
Still
hands
haven't
hands
seen
are
it.
both hands are in the tube. I'm like, I did it again.
And your feet. You're just sitting there like all of your
On my back.
just stuck in a
Like
Pringles.
a Pringles
tube.
turtle.
Like a turtle. Can't flip on.
It's 2-1, and I've got the final vote over here. I do like Pringles, and I like the different flavors that they come in, but Doritos alone, just the normal nacho cheese ones were enough to beat Pringles, and then you add the spicy street taco ones in there, and Pringles doesn't stand a chance against spicy street taco Doritos. It is Doritos for me. 3-1. I'm sorry,
How's that
Sully.
feel, Sully?
It's all good. Maybe I don't get the right.
Such a Canadian answer.
I was gonna say maybe we don't get the right flavors up here. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's definitely what it is. That's definitely
Yeah,
what
it could be.
Jay Wall saying Doritos. Rick Butts also with Doritos. And Jay, shocked at your take, Sully says, wow, hot take. And Sully needs to know if you have had all dressed flavored chips.
I haven't.
I have
So-
not.
What does that mean?
You take every flavor of potato chip, and that is your potato chip. I know this isn't a
still don't
tiers
know what you're
episode, but it is
saying exactly.
absolutely 100% an S tier potato chip. My favorite potato chip, hands down. Ruffles all dressed all day long.
Never
Is it like
even
an
heard of
everything
it.
bagel?
Yeah, but way better than that.
Wait, so it's like
Everything bagel
salt-
is too oniony. This isn't that.
Yeah, I agree. They are too oniony.
Well,
That's
bring
the
me back for
problem. I
bagels.
don't-
Let's go.
I don't like everything bagels because I think they
Bagels.
taste too oniony.
Why haven't we done bagels?
Bagels are just boiled bread. They're
I don't
overrated
know.
too.
Okay, then
What?
you
Shut your mouth, Sully.
Settle down there.
I thought the same thing for a long time until I had really good bagels, and now I respect a good bagel.
So I just eat garbage Canadian bagels. Is that what you're saying?
Probably because I ate garbage Georgia bagels for the vast majority of my life.
All right, that's fair.
It wasn't until like I was 24 when I found that like bagels could be more than just a boiled circle of bread. We've got our next matchup. John Luke, you've got the first vote here. Classic Lay's versus Takis. Where are you going here?
What in the hell is a Taki?
What? You're kidding, right?
I never had a Taki before.
Really?
And I don't want to pick Classic Lay's because I don't like those. So I'm going with the fun one, Takis.
They're like spicy rolled up Dorito tubes almost. One vote for Takis. Josh, where are you going?
I have had the Takis. I actually prefer Classic Lay's myself. They're not my favorite chip in the world, but I'm not a big Takis guy either. So I'm going to go Classic Lay's.
One vote for Classic Lay's. And Sully Tim says, yes, you are eating garbage bagels. Just wanted to come in and let you know over there.
Thanks,
and then Jay agreeing with you saying that S tier for all dressed chips. Absolutely. For me, this is Takis, and it's not even close. And I like Classic Lay's, but man, I love spicy, and I love cheesy, and I love yummy and crunchy, and man, Takis just hit all the right marks.
Honestly, I'm probably too low on Takis. I got to reevaluate. I haven't had them in years.
They have a decent kick. That's the other thing. It's hard to find like potato chips that actually have a little bit of spice to them, and Takis have a little bit. Sully, are you going Takis or Classic Lay's?
Classic Lay's are horrible. Takis. My wife works in the theater industry, so the best days are when they're testing things and she brings it all home. So she brought home like 4 or 5 different types. And although I'm the opposite of you, Simon, I'm not a really big spicy guy, but man, they're good. And in a limited amount, like Classic Lay's, I could crush a bag and I'd be sad when I'm done because I ate a bag of Classic Lay's. But Takis, it's less. You don't have to eat as many, but it's fulfilling and it makes me happy. So it's Takis.
3 votes for Takis. Moving on, and up next. God. Oh, good Lord. I hate this matchup.
This is just a flavor. This isn't even like a specific.
Doesn't matter what it is.
Salt and vinegar chips are a popular thing.
Oh, I know that, but they're a flavor, not like a type. Like Cheetos, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you could have salt, vinegar, different types.
I guess Lay's Classic are kind of a flavor. They have their own flavor. I'll tell you that much.
Cardboard. Salty cardboard.
Do you want us to make this specific? Salt and vinegar chips?
I was just curious.
It's salt and vinegar.
Kettle.
Or Lay's.
That really changes the game.
Kettle does change the game.
Why isn't Kettle on here?
I'm up, right?
Yeah, Josh, you've got the first vote here.
Cheetos are the answer. Salt and vinegar used to be my favorite potato chip. Salt and vinegar classic chips. They're great, but Cheetos is the answer. They are so delicious. Like, sit back, relax, eat a bag of Cheetos. You're good to go for the day.
Scott saying classy Lays are garbage trash terrible. What are classy Lays? I've never heard of those.
You just wear a suit. You just put on a suit and eat the same shitty chip.
Also, Sully, I crush a whole bag of classic Lays. Sometimes we eat things that we're not happy about.
Listen, we've all been in the position where you're so hungry and there's only like one thing in your cabinet, and so you just eat it.
Like the 3-week-old pretzels that are like 1,000% stale, but you just gotta eat. When it's 2 a.m., you're just looking for like the lowest path, or the least resistance to having a snack. It doesn't matter if it's moldy bread, stale pretzels, like 4-week-old
moldy
cereal.
Bread. It does matter with moldy bread.
Pick the mold off.
No, Anthony it matters with moldy bread, sir. It does matter.
Anthony said cheese is murder.
Yeah, that really does.
Can we just take a second? I see it talked about in the chat a lot. Can we just all agree kettle cooked chips are just better?
It's gonna win. That's probably why I didn't put them on here, because they would just win. Auto win.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're fantastic.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. Simon didn't agree yet.
Oh, I don't care about kettle cooked. I care about the flavor more than not. Like, I like kettle cooked, but it doesn't move the bar that much.
Yeah, it doesn't change the flavor at all.
I mean, it changes the crunch more for me than the flavor. And it's my vote here. I love Cheetos, but salt and vinegar are my absolute favorite chips. I could eat them until my tongue turns completely raw and I can't taste anything for the next 3 weeks. I love them so much. I'm voting salt and vinegar. Sully, which way are you going here? Cheetos or salt and vinegar chips?
This should be the final, in my opinion, of what I've seen so far, because I love both.
Yeah.
I'm with you though, Simon. There's many days where I've eaten too many salt and vinegar chips, and you can't do much for the next 2 days because your tongue is raw. So I will go with salt and vinegar chips.
But listen up, is that a negative? I don't know.
It means they're so
No,
good you don't even care.
No, like it's salt and vinegars, but please pass my apologies on to Cheetos.
I'll let him know. Chester
I'll let him
Cheetah.
know. I'll let
I've
him
got his
know.
number on speed dial.
Thank you.
I care about them.
John Luke, are you going Cheetos or salt and vinegar chips?
It's salt and vinegar for me. I love salt and vinegar
You guys
chips. I
suck.
do love Cheetos as
guys
well,
suck.
but it's not the same. I feel like if you eat a bunch of Cheetos, you kind of get sick of them. So for a little bit, then you got to come back.
But
to
yeah,
it.
salt and vinegar just sits so well in the stomach.
I could eat them
It
forever,
does.
and I will lose my tongue, and I don't care.
100%. It doesn't matter if it like lacerates my tongue. If I've got like wounds on the inside of my mouth, I'll still eat salt and vinegar chips.
You
They're
just
so
figure out a
tasty.
different way to do it, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
Like
And that's the
models and
sign of a
alcohol.
good chip. We've got our next matchup, Fritos versus Funyuns, and I've got the first vote here. I was threatened with my life not to remove Funyuns from this bracket by Jay, but I'm going to try my best to eliminate it as quickly as possible. I don't even like Fritos that much. Just Funyuns are so irrelevant in the chip world. I can't even believe I'm talking about them right now. Like the last time I had a Funyun, I think I was 8, and it's because everything else at the vending machine was empty. So it was Funyuns or Be Hungry. They're weird. They're not that great. I'm going Fritos.
Just so you know, Simon, I've had a Funyun within the last year.
Within the last year. Okay, that's pretty
Mhm.
impressive.
Yep.
Sully,
I've had
when's
some
the last
Funyuns.
time you had a Funyun, and are you voting Fritos or Funyuns?
I don't think I've ever had a Funyun in my life.
You should.
Think of an onion ring, but crunchy and like real
No
shitty
onion.
tasting.
Okay.
JR said
No, I'm joking.
Funyuns
They
to the
taste
moon.
fine. They taste fine. They taste fine.
And
They're
Jay
not
saying,
that
I'm
far.
dead to him.
I'd probably, based on that glowing recommendation, not really enjoy them that much. With that being said, I've never had them. And Fritos, that's the corn chip. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So again, Canadian, we don't know what's going on up here. Every trip to the U.S., one of the first things I do is grab a bag
But
of Fritos.
they're square and like a tail kind of deal. You know, they're twisty. You know.
What are you talking about?
Tail. I've never thought of them
Fritos.
as a tail.
Frito, it's a corn. Yeah. I'm familiar with them.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me just describe the shape in case you're not sure if you remember.
Listen, Fritos have a very specific flavor compared to normal corn chips. I would say.
So this
super
bracket is a non-onion tasting onion versus a rectangular curved corn flavored.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Nailed it.
exactly. Yeah. Now you got it. You got it now. You're figuring this out.
So is your vote going to Fritos, Sully?
Yeah.
1 vote to Fritos from Sully and Tim saying honey barbecue flavor twist Fritos are elite. And Jay Well said, I've never had a Funyun because I respect myself. John Luke, do you respect yourself or are you voting for Funyuns?
I'm voting for Funyuns, mostly just because of.
Do you respect yourself, or are you
No
voting for Funyuns?
Yeah, I'm voting for Funyuns.
That's the way to put
Clearly, mostly just whenever Simon gets so passionate about something and I don't have a strong opinion on it, I have to balance him out. I got to make sure that the universe is in order. So I'll go Funyuns here. Fritos aren't that great either. Neither really are very good.
Josh, you've got the final vote. Is it a tie or are you giving it to Fritos?
I would much rather eat a Frito than a Funyun. Fritos are just so easy to eat. They're so salty and delicious. Fritos.
Suck it, Jay. See ya, Funyuns. And we are on to our first semifinal.
I feel like I got to mention this. I'm not a big onion fan. If you didn't catch that from the everything bagel discussion, I don't love big onion flavor.
I love onions.
I like onions like cooked in things. I just do not like strong onion flavor.
Jay said you are all dead to me. And Anthony's saying sports drinks would be a good bracket / tier. Yeah, that would be a good one.
That is a
vitamin
good one.
water, some Gatorade, some Powerade.
I could get passionate.
All I could think of was Gatorade and Powerade, and I was like,
there's
I'd be a short bracket.
I'm trying to think of some more.
Pedialyte.
Mio, does that count? Crystal Light?
5 Hour Energy.
Coconut water.
Bang. Energy.
Bang.
Crystal Light?
Yeah.
Crystal Light.
Nothing like crushing it at the gym and coming home and tearing open that little packet
get that
and
big
pouring
old
it in your glass of water, hey?
Exactly.
Oh,
That's
in
awesome.
college, one time we were like going to drink, but we were
Body
very
armor
poor. And
needs
the
to be
only
in, yeah.
mixer we had at the house was Tang. And the only liquor we had was Rumplemints peppermint schnapps. So
Sounds
we
good.
did Tang and Rumplemints. and it was oddly good. It was like this weird kind of like Christmassy, fruity, minty flavor. So if you're ever in a pinch, Tang and Rumple Mints. Sully, you've got the first vote here. It is Doritos versus Takis. Which way are you going?
I don't really care for either, and I was pretty passionate about my dislike for Doritos, so I will go with Takis again here.
One vote for Takis.
Just rolled up Doritos.
That's what I was thinking. I had the same exact thought.
It's all about the shape of the snack for you, isn't it, Josh?
It is. It matters. You know,
Takis are way easier to eat than a Dorito. So I believe you have to give them credit for that.
You're saying they're easier to eat. Maybe I think they're less easy. I don't know. I like to break apart my Doritos a little bit.
Yeah. Speak for yourself.
Josh,
I have a
Josh
triangle-shaped esophagus.
Your hand's stuck in a
Doritos.
Pringles jar. What are you talking about?
I actually blend them up and drink them.
That's
With
your
Tang.
Sports drink.
Yeah.
With some powdered Tang. John Luke, where's your vote going? Doritos or Takis?
Doritos, since I've never had a Taki in my life.
1-1. Josh?
It's got to be Doritos. Doritos are fantastic, and it's so many good flavors. But it looks like
hot trash.
It's got to be Takis for me.
Yeah,
they are they're such a good chip. They're so tasty. Like they're not just spicy, but just the flavor of a Taki is so much better than the flavor of a Dorito.
We need help.
And I love Doritos. So people in the chat, we need your help. Jay, I don't know if this counts as a vote. You're gonna have to vote Doritos. All he said was Dorito Locos tacos are amazing, but we're talking about Doritos.
That's true. That's true.
That's true. Craig voted Taki, so we've got one vote. I'm assuming Jay voted Dorito,
he said
but I need confirmation.
Taki. He did.
Yeah, he's talking about the player.
Yeah. Exactly.
If you're not counting J's, you can't count.
Okay, Doritos.
Wrong
You know
start.
what? I don't think Takis is coming back.
A bunch of psychopaths.
Doritos, let's go.
Yeah, they said
Doritos
Josh
wins.
double dip.
I double dipped the chip.
He does. He's got no regard.
Reference, right?
He's blending them. How's he double dipping them? Is it with his straw?
Well, he's double dipping into the chips, actually.
Oh, I
not the
understand.
chip itself, but he turns it into a dip.
Takes
He
one
double
bite and
dips
puts
it.
it back in.
Jay said, I vote
Wait.
Funyuns. Well, sucks to suck. And we've got a
have-
question. My fab waivers are in 5 minutes. My RBs are Eckler and Tyson. Should I poke
we
up
got
Eli
you.
Mitchell and drop Sermon, Carter, Michelle, Pollard, or Tony Jones? Would you guys drop any of those backs for Elijah Mitchell?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's Michael
Carter
Michael
and a
Carter.
heartbeat. Yeah.
Michael Carter.
Yeah, Michael Carter or Sony Michelle.
Yep, but Carter's like a tier below Sony in my mind. I would drop Michael Carter immediately for Eli Mitchell. There you go. Speed questions.
There you go. Get it in. You only have 5 minutes.
And it sounds
Dude.
like you need running back help. And since you have Sermon, I would be putting a decent amount of fab on Elijah Mitchell.
Absolutely. John Luke, you've got the first vote on this one. Salt and vinegar versus Fritos. Where are you going here?
Give me salt and vinegar.
One vote for salt and vinegar. Josh,
It's Fritos for me.
it's salt and
I
vinegar.
don't think
for
I'm
me.
going to win this one, but it's Fritos for me.
And Sully, are you going salt and vinegar or your favorite little rectangle corn chips?
It's the curve at the end that makes this one hard. I
The
really,
Fritos?
yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
we've all been there, Sully.
It's
We've
the
all
curve
been
at the
there.
end.
All about the
makes-
shape.
It's all about
Makes
the
it hard for me.
And we just went off the rails.
We never were on it.
That's true. I love both of these, but salt and vinegar is tried, tested, and true, and my go-to at the end of the day. So that's where I'm going.
I feel like
Three
our
votes
show is just Rainbow Road. Like that's
Yeah.
the best way to describe our
You
our
never
show.
know what you're going to get.
Yeah, you're
Or what, you're
rarely
just-
on the track.
Yeah, just constantly falling off the edge.
Yeah.
It's the worst part is I feel like I'll always have like one good lap on Rainbow Road where I'll make it all the way around and then I'm like, oh, I got this. And then immediately after I
Blue
fall
shell.
off like 18 times.
Yeah.
Like just like my perfect whatever I did the first round, it's either like fall off none or fall off 100 times.
Yep. Swerve around a banana, fly off the side.
By
Guys,
the way,
this
Anthony, I do like Seinfeld. I just saw him in the chat saying I like Seinfeld. I do.
and Jay with the quote, it's the curve at the
Love
end that
Seinfeld.
makes this one hard, Sully. So we've got that on record, Sully.
Yeah, we can clip
Do
that.
not-
We'll clip that later.
Do
Don't
not
worry.
clip that.
Josh, you've got the first vote on this one. Doritos versus salt and vinegar chips.
Oh.
Where are you going here?
It's Doritos. Listen, salt and vinegar used to be my favorite, guys. I overdid them. I ruined them for
Betrayed.
myself. But it's Doritos. It's got to be Doritos here.
I'm actively trying to overdo salt and vinegar chips, and I can't. I like it. It doesn't matter how many I eat. I just can't overdo them. So it is still salt and vinegar for me. But Doritos are a worthy adversary in the finals, even though I talked bad about them against the Takis. Sully, are you going Doritos or salt and vinegar?
Easily salt and vinegar. Doritos remain hot trash.
You've been on the anti-Dorito train since round
they're
one
hot.
here.
Something happened to me as a kid with a Dorito, I guess. I don't know, but I hate them. So
Must have been.
Sully's childhood bully was named Dorito.
But you like
actually.
Fritos, which are really just a cousin of Doritos. They're
No,
very
how?
similar.
no, they're not.
Yeah, the same type of chip, corn chip or whatever.
Yeah, but the flavor profile is totally different.
That's why I said cousin, guys. I didn't say they're exactly
That's
the same.
like that's
Okay,
like
didn't
saying
say that.
risotto.
Taste completely different. All right.
That's the 6 degrees of separation. Then we're all cousins. I don't know if I'd go there,
No.
but I think you're right.
That's like saying risotto and grits are related. Like only someone crazy would say something like that.
They are.
I'm kidding. I said that this morning and JL fought me on my risotto cooking abilities.
I don't know.
I did. Well, also risotto's just the worst to make.
The recipe I had, I'll share it with you, JL. Made it a lot simpler. Okay, whose vote is it? I forget who just voted. I
I
think
think it's yours, Simon.
It's
oh,
mine.
No, I was wrong.
it's
wrong.
JL's
you're the
vote. We've
last
got
one.
3 votes.
Yeah, you're deciding it here.
Well, usually I'm all about power to the people, but it's salt and vinegar for me. Sorry,
What?
guys.
People, if it's gonna be Doritos, Doritos. People,
Sorry, guys.
They're all like Doritos. Like, come on, chat. You're with me. You guys get it. Like,
They're not gonna like this.
Yeah,
one.
but it
idiots.
doesn't matter if they're with you, Josh.
how
because
many
the vote,
shows have been like this? Where I'm like over here, like, no.
Not many.
the
That's
winner
why
of the
this is
chips.
That's why this is the best hour every day, right there.
The winner of the bracket
I'm
is
upset.
Jeremy Hill. I mean, salt and vinegar chips. Scott came in and did the comparison. Doritos are Christian McCaffrey. Jeremy Hill is salt and vinegar chips.
Yeah,
but you
that's a
know
good
what?
comparison.
We love Jeremy Hill over here. And Anthony saying no.
No, I
Craig
don't.
agreeing with us. And Rick
Smart
said,
man.
why do you people like eating nasty shit?
Wow,
I don't
so
know, man.
aggressive.
That's just
That's fair,
something that
that's
I
fair.
like.
Don't
Jay
fight
agreeing
Rick on
with us.
These guys.
And Anthony saying Josh is S tier today.
Josh
He's
is
agreeing with you,
nincompoop today.
Josh.
What about
every
day?
day, Anthony. Yeah.
What about
the
every other
hell?
day? What a jerk.
hell? Yeah, get out of here, Anthony. I was gonna watch your show later tonight on the Robo Heat
Hey.
channel on YouTube,
But now
I
I
don't
don't
know
know.
anymore. Now
I'm
I'll
still
only
there.
probably watch it. Oh, Solly's gonna be there. Okay, I'll watch. Oh no, you
Oh.
voted for some vinegar. Get out of here.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Josh
eat a
being
bag of
such a
Doritos
cockle.
live on air tonight and throw up all over the place just for you guys.
Beautiful.
Scott said,
beautiful.
I'll hold back on We Love Jeremy Hill over here. That was a placeholder for salt and vinegar chips. So 100%. Please don't clip that. And if you do, it was all JL who loves Jeremy Hill. I was just speaking for us as a group.
Yep.
Like if you average his love with us, it's still love. Because
There's
he loves
definitely
him so
a
much.
Reddit trail of me arguing with someone on why Jeremy Hill was trashed like 3 years ago. So
Fantasy
there's proof.
football stats guy saying salt and vinegar over Doritos only if they are kettle cooked. And Anthony
they're
said,
not.
normally JL, my veg bud is S tier, but not today. You've been
Sorry,
replaced,
Anthony.
John
You're
Luke.
still S tier in my heart.
Still Broccoli Brothers, though. You've got that.
Still broccoli brothers. Guys, Anthony, thank you so
I
much for
love
watching. And Sully, I want to thank you for watching, but I also want to give a big thank you to the whole Roto Heat team. We love you guys over there. And we're so
subscribe
grateful,
to
not just to like have this relationship with you, but with everyone over there. And everyone watching, if you are not already following Sully on Twitter, go and remedy that right now. He's on Twitter at Roto Heat Sully. Give him that follow. He's nothing but kind and positive and giving great fantasy advice. He's a must follow. And check out his show tonight, Dynasty Heat Seekers. What time is your show tonight, Sully, again?
9:30 Eastern, hosted by the legendary one and only Brad Menendez.
Hosted
Roto
by
Heat
the
Brad.
legendary Brad.
My best
Roto
friend.
Heat Brad.
He-
Yeah, you guys,
Yes. That's our
That's-
biggest fan of Josh.
the synergy with you two is amazing. The way you completed each other's sentences. It was
Off
awesome.
the charts. Woo-wee, yeah.
We have to get if Simon, if you still have the recording of that episode, we have to just clip out all the times that Josh and Brad interacted.
Where Brad's
You're like,
just sitting
nah.
there like, what? What the hell is
Idiot,
going
you
on?
moron.
Like just this look of like befuzzlement on his face. Like I don't even know
It's so
who my
perfect.
partner
So-
is.
so
Yeah, if
great,
you haven't
so
yet,
good.
this is what you do. Go to the top of your browser, duplicate tab, and then in YouTube, go search for Roto Heat and subscribe. Super easy. They put out great content.
Because
And
you are
sometimes we're
going to
on
want
the
to
channel.
stay in here because we're going
Thank
to be
you.
back in like 15 minutes.
That's
for
why
our
I said
office hours.
duplicate
We're gonna be
tab.
answering.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I was going to your point.
I'm with
know?
you. I'm hyping
yeah.
you up, Josh.
You want to stay in here? Yeah, you want to stay in here. So, yeah. Any questions you guys have?
Jay coming in with some Roto Heat love, and Rick returning it with the I Heart Jay. Sully, thank you so much for taking the time today to come on and do brackets with us. We needed the dissenting Doritos opinion today. It would have been boring without that.
No, I like being contrarian, I guess, but at the same time, what I really like is being able to come on and chat with you fine gentlemen. This is an absolute pleasure. We kind of referenced our relationship numerous times during this episode, but of all the things that Roto Heat has done this offseason, the relationship with you guys is right at the top of the list. There's many more avenues that we can continue to work together in the future, and I look forward to it.
100%. Everyone watching, watch out for future Roto Heat Front Yard Fantasy collabs, because there are definitely more coming. Guys, that is it for us for now, not for today. We will be back in 11 minutes for the Front Yard Fantasy office hours, so make sure to come in there with any questions you have. Scott Fish saying, yep, just to everything we're saying. That's just I'm taking yep. Full agreement on everything we've said. Yep. Thank you for your support, Scott.
And trading makes fantasy fun, too.
Trading does make fantasy fun, guys. That is it for us for now. We'll see you guys in about 10 minutes for fantasy office hours. Until then, adios, everybody.
Thank you.